Here comes the nasty gram.
Send a priest to save my soul, forget it.
Welcome back to the Nasty Gram RPG podcast. This is Star Wars Dreamscapes, Episode 3, The Underbelly.
Feeling it too hard is the poison to the heart of a cynic.
Tridian Adulis leans over and turns on the holo recorder. Sitting back in his chair, he begins. Hello, my family. I'm breaking protocol by sending this message, but I didn't want you to worry. I'll admit it's been hard to leave Alpharides. This galaxy is vast, far more varied than I could have ever imagined. My master and I are in an unusual place, in the heart of a storm. Imagine the lightning that rides the plains of Caradin, and then blanket the stars with its gale. At its center rests a station that we are investigating. People have gone missing. People have died. We are doing good work, Father, no matter what you think the agenda of the Jedi is. We are trying to help. I will say that I appreciate our simple life all the more having left. I witnessed firsthand at this station how people have let technology exceed their morality. I'm in a place where their advancements simulate reality, to a point where it is doubled back and now becomes real. It sounds impossible, but I've had a very hologram attack me. Something unusual, something sinister is happening here. Having met the powers that be, Mr. Zero assures me that the predictive algorithms are controlled and maintained, but I can feel he speaks in half-truths. This cortex, it has evolved. I fear we are being watched, hemmed into some unknown end. I promise I will be safe. I love you.
Welcome back to the Nasty Gram RPG podcast. This is Jake, and I'm going to be your dungeon master, game master of 2.
Are there dungeons here?
It's kind of a giant space dungeon.
Space dungeon.
Yeah.
This is Josh. I'm playing Calvin Solimar, Jedi Knight, with a transitioning, continuous, vaguely British accent.
Hey folks, Dan here playing Tridian Adulis. Yeah, I had to read my own name. A Jedi apprentice.
I keep thinking of tritium.
Yeah, what is that?
This thing that makes your watch glow.
Oh, right, there we go.
All right, let's do this. A circle of tall chairs sit in the center of an infinitely large space. Seated in them are silhouettes, their identities impossible to tell, although their outlines suggest a variety of species. One of them, a long-necked creature, speaks. They advance while we struggle to hold ground. We must take action against them now. You would have us do what? Go to war? Threaten everything we've built? Says a human silhouette. We have been at war for a long time. What I suggest is we go on the offensive. We have killed so many already. Isn't that offensive enough? A third voice chimes in. Tall, almost skeletal-looking silhouette of a strange alien. That is enough. We have them in check. We are getting close to finding the answers we need. But the Jedi threaten everything. He gestures towards the human. They cannot discover the truth. If they do, do you guys want to, sort of out of game, do a really quick recap of things that you think are important so far?
Sure.
Or do you want to do it in game?
Let's do it in character.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
And we can kind of say that we have been talking, so we've rehashed some of the details, and then in character we'll kind of hit some of the main points we're leading to.
Okay. We fade in on a mechanical set of hands with needle-like appendages, moving blurringly quick, stitching flesh. We sort of zoom out and we see Cavan Solomar, his pant leg pulled up as this droid repairs his wound. You're in the medical, the hospital of Takari Station, located in the Commons, which is a large section of which encompasses most of the station. And this droid is doing what it does, working on your leg, fixing you up a little bit. And the two of you are both there, kind of just met up after splitting off and doing your own investigations.
One quick point of order question for you, Jake. When we last left off with Tridian, he and Zero were going to look at the anomalies that occurred in both.
You're right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. And we don't have to necessarily roleplay it out, but maybe if there was he had some sort of response to why we couldn't see inside of the Moncal and why we couldn't get that perspective when looking at Jelona Tane.
Yeah.
Or if you think it's more important to roleplay it out, we can do that too.
I think what happened was he went through and saw the anomalies, or just looked at the first one, Jelona, and he confirmed that it seems like there's no recording, but he was going to have his people look into it and see if it had been altered, seeing if the recording had been there and had been erased.
Okay, great.
And he would get back to you.
Yep.
You're not sure if you trust him, but that's what he said.
Okay.
So here we are. Sorry, I totally forgot about that. I feel
That's
like
right.
we just said something that seemed like a good ending
place
point,
to end.
and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
never
yeah.
went back to
For
it.
sure. Tridian is standing kind of opposite you, you're sitting on a medical bay, and he's kind of standing very calmly. Both his hands are together in front of him, and his head is slightly bowed, and he's going through the conversation that he had with Zero, and he concludes that Zero is supposed to get back to him with more information.
Very good, Tridian. Now, from that, what do you think is the most relevant things you've learned as it pertains to this investigation?
What seems relevant is that the CEO, Zero, seeks to create some sort of conflict or distrust in the captain. He subtly places her under some suspicion as maybe she is inept or incapable or serves some other plot.
What would be his motivations for doing that?
I think, to speak plainly, I believe that the resort, Ruloth, has developed some sort of technology or software that has bridged the gap between what is illusion and what is felt. We have seen evidence of this. We've experienced it, you and I. It is kind of that blindfold that he has is kind of faced directly towards you.
At that, as you say that, he kind of like his leg kind of twitches at a particular poke of this medical droid. I think I experienced it even more directly than you.
He nods and he says, the fact that all of these murders and disappearances, none of them pertain to the clientele. They pertain to people who have worked here suggests that maybe they have uncovered or discovered something that Ruloth is trying to keep hidden.
If indeed Ruloth, have they discovered something or have they created something? There is something more going on. I find it unlikely that what happened in that room with the non-hologram Mon Calamari was the first time this technology, this effect had ever taken place. But it clearly was not their intent.
Is that a suspicion or do you have evidence?
It's a feeling. Were it intentional, it is a clumsy and ineffective way to get rid of two meddlesome Jedi. So, to reveal it intentionally, without the efficacy of getting rid of these investigators, merely tips the hand to us sticking our noses even further into their business. So I do not think it was intentional. What we do know, of the 3 crime scenes that we have had any observation of, the 2 that we have seen representations of, the one I saw myself, all 3 involved the murder of 3 seemingly very different individuals. A school teacher of young children, a private apartment of some sort of technician, and a public bathroom where a service attendant was killed. All of them, the bodies, seem to be the only thing that ties this together. The way they were killed or the wounds suffered by the bodies. It was not a lightsaber, although I think both of us were suspicions raised.
Tridian kind of moves, like kind of settles himself a little bit, kind of giving away the fact that was his suspicion as well.
The device used required power. In 2 of these cases, I've seen evidence that the power was drawn locally, hardwired. I think we should try to see if there's any kind of data logs of power routing, power sourcing, to see if there were spikes, to see if they were measurable, to see if they were perhaps 5,000 kilojoules, which the pilot noted was what appeared in front of our craft. There's a suspicion, apparently, some on this station, long-term residents have. Sort of sounds to me almost a ghost story, that these energy nexus can somehow manifest into a haunting, something that can take control of an individual, of a program. Apparently it's something that is rumored to be believed. I'd like to dig further into that.
It is one thing for energy or radiation to have an effect on someone's biology. It is another thing for it to have sentience and a consciousness and a will. We cannot put that much credit into this sort of theory, can we?
We don't have to put credit into it, but we can keep it as an open possibility. Perhaps this isn't a technological breakthrough, but an interaction with an existing phenomenon that is perhaps being attempted to be manipulable by Ruloth, by others. I'm not sure. Ooh.
This station is over 1,000 years old. I would think that more sufficient evidence would have been accrued if there was something with intent here.
And there's been one connection between victims we've discovered. I mentioned to you this droid.
Yes.
It was found powered down in Kessie Vidor's apartment.
A protocol droid, yes?
Yes. How capable are you of reading data off a droid's programming?
I have done so on occasion, but it has never been my specialty.
I am somewhat leery of outside help, because everyone here is a potential suspect. Anyone we turn to for help might have their own motivations to obscure what is really happening.
On that note, Caven, the director, Mr. Zero, he pointed something out, which perhaps was a distraction, but it is worth noting. His technicians were not allowed to oversee our viewing of these scenes by Captain Zygar's orders, which would point to one of two things. Either she believes him to be an interference in the process of justice, or she is trying to obscure something from us.
Jake, what do I know of who reached out to the Republic or the Jedi Order to request assistance?
It was Captain Zagar, like herself. She reached out. And if you kind of like look through like the Jedi records, and you do learn that the reason she reached out to the Jedi Order was suspicion that a Force user was involved. Yeah, which is most likely because the wound, the first thing that comes to mind with the wound is lightsaber.
Tridian, of the people on the station we've interacted with, a limited number, whose motivations do you have the most trust in?
Captain Zygar's.
Yes, why?
She is a native. She does not seem to seek financial gain, but more the security of the people here, which I believe is a good and just cause.
Have you noticed how constrained she is?
Around Mr. Zero.
I think she is very rule and protocol bound. She wouldn't cross the line until the engine shut down when our craft landed. She was leery to speak her personal beliefs, both in front of Mr. Zero and with me in the apartment. I had to lean on her privately to get her to reveal any sort of personal suspicions. And I believe Mr. Zero is aware that she might have suspicions or information that could possibly either incriminate him, Ruloth, or whatever entity or power could be involved.
Would not the CEOs, the Quorum, have the power to overrule her in requesting Jedi assistance?
Perhaps, but if so, either they did not exercise it or they were not made aware of in time. We do not know exactly how the internal communications process works.
There is something odd that even if there is something that Ruloth or the resorts are trying to protect, why kill in this manner? It is oddly surgical and bizarre. There are many ways that someone can be killed. This is a pattern which denotes attention, and there is a system for a purpose. This leads me to where I hope we may proceed next, which is the bodies themselves.
2 are available, she said, for viewing.
Where are the others?
One has been made into calamari wings. Rings.
Deep fried.
Delicious.
As is their culture.
It's a modest proposal.
Reclaimed by families, I believe. And you're all right about that. Which leads me to wonder, is the motivation to end a life or something else? Because there are much simpler ways of killing someone than using some kind of tool that requires a power source to surgically, nearly, remove a portion of the cranium. What will we find? What won't we find? What might be missing?
I do not have these answers.
Well, something else sticking in the back of my head. In the classroom. Do you know how difficult it is to procure plant life on a space station?
I do not.
Fairly difficult.
Another reason why I cannot understand why anyone would subject themselves to a life like this.
It strikes me as odd that a young school, a teacher of young children on a space station would have access to grow plants in the classroom. This is something that normally would be reserved for the most resource-intensive part of maintaining a space station. What is required to keep everyone here alive? Growing plants for children's education amusement for a station that is solely based on income-driven resort travel and this power generation is a waste of resources. How did she get those resources?
All children on the Farades are taught agriculture. It is a way of life. It is a way to provide life. You think it's so different here?
I think it is too difficult here. There's no star to shine down and give light to these plants. Agriculture is a luxury in space. And the luxuries in this station are all geared towards commerce, from what I have seen. Not enough connections, but enough questions. That feels better. Let us see these bodies.
I think also, Jake, if you allow me, Tridian has his data pad is resting on a medical bay bed next to him while he's been standing there conversing with Caven. And he has marked on a map of the station the locations of the murders and the missing people. And he's just trying to look at the density of it and see if there's any patterns emerging, if there is clustered around a particular location, maybe even, kind of drawing artificial lines to what a central position would be. And he's kind of just doing that in the background of his thoughts while he had this conversation.
You take a look at that map and Aquila Ditaka, the Mon Calamari, found in a bathroom near the hypertrain, pretty close to the shop owned by Sika, who is missing.
Yep.
Sika, who sold the droid to Miss Vidar.
The teacher, nowhere near any of that.
Yep.
Bin Ray, a Doug who works in the greenhouses, nowhere near that. The Trandoshan, very far away in the exposure. Domi Tamu, who is a human bartender, very close to where the Mon Calamari and Sika were, also missing. And then Cassie Vidar, the Twi'lek, not near them. So those three are near each other.
Yep. Nak, and Dami.
Nak. Oh, I'm sorry. Those four, because the Mon Calamari as well.
Yep.
Yep.
Those four.
Wait, Tridian, go back. The Doug. What did you just say?
He was a greenhouse laborer.
Interesting.
You think there is a connection to the teacher, Jelana Tain?
Raises the question. We found one connection between these apparent victims. Maybe this is another.
There may be correspondence if we can search his apartment or his living quarters.
And the perpetrator or perpetrators, one thing is apparent is that there is not just tools, technology, but there's also physical prowess involved. This Trandoshan apparently worked in some kind of security, although the information I got from Captain was a bit vague. I question whether it was legitimate security or something other. That's something I'd like to sniff out, perhaps this evening on station time.
Very well. Shall we proceed to the bodies?
Yes.
And you are feeling quite well?
Yes, I've been feeling well, thanks to your administrations, but I think now my this old body will keep up with it.
Mechanically, how does getting first aid from like a medical droid, what would that do?
It can improve one condition on a success, so removing a wounded level would be
Okay.
1 level of treatment, and I had 1 wounded level. So, assuming you rolled successfully for the droid, then I would heal up to fully healed.
Okay. Yeah, you're when you get up and put pressure on the leg, it feels a lot better.
Character points?
Oh yeah. Why don't you guys take 2 each from the last game? Yeah.
Or
It's cool shit.
can we roll a 1d3?
Sure.
D6.
5, 6 is a 3, right? All right, we're agreed. All right.
Well, where's my wild die?
Broke ass wild.
Yep.
Got a 2,
Did you get a 1? Okay.
but it's
I got a 2
1.
as well.
Oh, damn. I always love when Dan gets screwed over by those random advancement things.
you rolled a 2 or you got 2?
I rolled a 2.
Oh, so you got 1.
Yeah, 1, 2 is 1. Yeah. That's normal here.
All right, on to the bodies.
All right, screen wipe to the morgue. This large medical droid built to be able to carry bodies opens up one of many little cubby doors and pulls out this, gurney. On it is a huge body covered with a sheet. And the droid effortlessly picks it up. The whole table seems to detach, and he brings it over and he puts it on top of another table. And then he reaches up a hand, pulls off the sheet slowly, and you see this dark green, scaly-skinned lizard creature, a Trandoshan. Naked, because they have already performed an autopsy on him. The chart. Is it cool if Captain Zaguer is there? She's
Yeah.
She's holding the chart and she says, "This is Nak, Trandoshan male, age 16. Although I should point out that is fully into adulthood for their race." No family and no one to claim the body, which is why it is still here.
Captain, you mentioned Nak worked security for one of the resorts or for yourself?
He is listed as a independent security consultant. Most often that means that he is hired muscle.
For clientele or for people here at the facility?
Most likely for one of the sector leaders of the exposure. I could dig into it and try to find out.
Exposure is the more affordable housing area?
I've never heard it described that way. The exposure is the topmost part of the station. It was designed to be storage, but as the station has grown in population and people have been priced out of the commons, they've made their homes there. Many of the larger storage areas have been converted into small villages, so to speak. Although we don't tend to patrol there, there's not any security. In the early days, they tried to clear them out, but eventually it was just decided they needed to be a place for people to live. It's not designed to be a living area, and so radiation shielding is weaker, and it's so close to the spires that a lot of the residents suffer many medical conditions as a result.
Why is this allowed?
She shrugs. And
There is
says,
so much money here. There is so much power here. There is more than enough for everyone.
There have been talks about increasing fees for the use of the cortex to pay for expansions, but those always seem to fall through.
Tridian shakes his head at this. He doesn't press it, but he is weighed by it.
Obviously, a string of murders like this are quite unusual here, Captain, but beyond that, with your day-to-day role, what types of crime and what areas concern most of your time?
Jake, as they're kind of talking at the foot of the slab that's been pulled out, Tridian starts to make his way down the body, and look specifically to the wound.
Okay. Most of the crime in the station here is theft, breaking and entering, trespassing, things like that. There is as you've noticed, a large disparity between those who have and those who have not. And those who have not, they look to the edge of the station when they're hungry.
What level of organization? Are there established gangs?
She nods. There are. There are at least 8.
Are there breakdown geographically?
She
racially?
nods. She says, geographically for the most part. The exposure had 8 storage bays. These are immense rooms that were originally designed to hold goods. Those rooms are towns now. Each one has its own leadership.
Interesting. Well, Stradine, what do you think? What do you see? What do you see that our holograms were prohibited from showing us?
You're talking to him. He has both hands resting on the
Inside of his head.
On the Transdoshan, and you can tell, as you're so familiar with it, he is exercising Jedi concentration. And I am going to use concentration so that I can add to the medicine roll that I'm about to make.
Okay, give me a medicine roll. Oh, do you have to make a concentration roll first?
Do
whatever you got to do.
Sure. And so control difficulty is easy if I am relaxed and at peace. And that's a 14, 17, 18, 19. So that passes. And then when using the power, the Jedi clears all negative thoughts. Individual Jedi concentrates on one specific task at hand. And the Jedi may add 4 die to any one action in that round. So
I throw a lightsaber at you.
Are you going to dodge it? Or are you going to make a choice?
Mm-hmm.
That's like actually such a training thing, right? You're like, concentrate. I'm throwing rocks at you. You better concentrate. Heroic? Maybe.
Definitely.
Yeah? Over 30?
39.
Holy shit.
Yep.
That's fucking crazy. 31 plus is heroic. 39 is insane. When the answer to what do you see is nothing. There is no brain inside this Trandoshan's head. At first, you think this has something. Well, also the inside is oddly smooth. There's not anything in there. And at first, you think maybe this has something to do with their anatomy,
autopsy,
or the autopsy, their anatomy, their ability to heal. But this is like if this were a different system, I'd have you make a sanity check because this is like, what the fuck am I looking at?
Right. It's like a made up.
It makes you think that this isn't a real body to the point where you check a few other things to confirm that it is. But there's no explanation for it. There are a lot of other wounds on the body and there has been healing done. And you know that she had said that their medical experts were unsure because
of their healing factor. Yep.
You have a pretty good grasp on their healing factor. You've studied them, probably trying to figure out if you could use that healing ability. And you think that a lot of these wounds were caused that this Trandoshan got into a fight. There was a firefight, and took a lot of damage. And
so of all the bodies we've seen, this one looked like
a fight.
Yep.
And looking at it, you're like, no shit, he put up a fight. He's huge and he's a fighter. So it doesn't surprise you. But you can tell that a lot of those wounds on him were caused by some sort of energy cutting device.
Okay.
Similar to a lightsaber. You think the blade of that device might be a similar technology to a lightsaber, but the blade itself is probably a lot smaller.
Thinner.
Something that is designed for medical use. And you originally, like I said before, you couldn't think of anything, but looking at all of his wounds, like even though you can't name the model of equipment that was used,
Sure,
you're pretty sure this was some sort of like surgical
laser.
Laser.
Yep.
Yeah.
I then asked the question after seeing you in concentration.
His hands, they're resting on top of the Transdotion, and then he takes them away.
What is it that we have to see here that the holograms couldn't reveal to us?
The glitch in the holograms has withheld. You see his shoulders shrug. A total anomaly. It is like a glitch in a body. I will try to explain. You're familiar with the biology of living beings, as we are complicated and complex systems of meat and bone. His hand gestures towards the head. This wound, the result of it is as if it were a figurine made of wood or plastic or even metal, and it was just scooped cleanly, the brain matter from it. There is no residual wounds or scraping or cutting. It is as though it were plucked cleanly with some precision that I have never seen before in the medical profession.
Plucked or converted?
What do you mean by converted?
As we're throwing out theories, if indeed we somehow experienced energy becoming matter with a hologram attacking us, could not matter become energy?
What a Mulder conclusion.
In which case, the request I had to look into these energy logs, perhaps we should not be looking at a draw, but a surge. Conjecture.
You stated that there was evidence of a device that needed to be powered.
Circumstantial, but nonetheless.
The wounds, and you see his hands kind of move across the Trandoshan's body and kind of bracket these slices, and that are in various states of healing, are made by the equivalent of what I would assume to be a surgical laser. There weren't very many on my homeworld, but I saw more once I left. And the idea of a portable one is absurd. But it is not the same beam as, say, a lightsaber. A lightsaber would have destroyed all of this. And he kind of gestures to where the head is and the contents inside. This is an extraction. That is the purpose of this wound. And the way that it extracts it is unlike any method I have ever seen or known.
So our suspect or suspects have access to incredible equipment, which defies unknown understanding, are physically imposing enough to overpower a Trandoshan, who we would surmise has worked in fields where he knew how to handle himself, and also has some sort of incredible medical, scientific ability. That is a strange combination.
It is likely that the technology he possesses is responsible for a portion of that. The way this place works, you see his head kind of tick towards the captain when when he's about to go into this explanation, it seems very independent of one another. Mr. Zero himself says that he doesn't understand how the cortex works.
Captain, the cortex, has that existed as long as the station?
Ah, yes, the original research station is the cortex. It's the core of the entire station. It's not just one simple computer that is a simplified idea of it. It's a series of dozens of systems, some of them linked, some of them working independently.
And was this station built because of its location to this energy field?
Yes.
Was the purpose to observe, or was the purpose to harness?
I suppose you would have to speak with historians about the exact nature of the creation of the station. However, I believe both. I believe that observing and learning how to harness this power, use for the greater good of the galaxy, although it never quite got that far. You see, the problem is transporting it out. I'm sure you noticed on your way here that it is not an easy trip. And this power, when stored in batteries, creates a lot of radiation, can be quite volatile. And so a method of actually transporting it out of here and shipping it to other systems simply never happened. Unlimited power, but no way for it to reach the rest of the galaxy.
May I see the other body?
I'm afraid not. Not without the consent of the family. It is already in their custody.
He nods.
That was Vidar,
Yeah.
the Twi'lek?
Yeah. Yep.
I suspect we'll find the same things, though it would be good to confirm. Captain, did you... I imagine you do not work for the resorts, but the CEOs, I'm sure, hold some influence. Did you have to clear your request for assistance from the Republic?
You can see her immediately get nervous. And she says, according to Chapter 7 of our legal structure, there is no need for me to request aid, to request clearance for aid in an investigation, so long as there is no financial cost to the system.
By the book.
Then
Luckily, the Jedi do not charge.
may I ask another question? I understand that Mr. Zero's technicians had requested to oversee the hologram projection of Tane's murder, but you would not allow them to be there while we were there. Is there a reason for this?
They don't have proper security clearance.
Were the recordings of the other scenes done by Sergeant Bailnick as well?
She takes out her data pad and checks. 3 of them were.
Which was not?
The most recent.
Miss Vidar.
Yes.
The pattern is not exact, but these disappearances and murders have happened between 1 to 2 standard weeks apart, Tridian. 7 days ago means that if this pattern follows suit, any day now we could see or not see the next victim. Time is important.
Those who are missing, we cannot assume they are alive. It may just be a matter that we haven't discovered their bodies.
No. But why? Perhaps it's just happenstance. I'm sure there's enough hiding places on the station. But the scenes that we have found, seemingly no attempt to hide the evidence. And yet 3 without a trace. Why?
Their bodies may just have yet to be discovered. That would be my assumption based on the scale of this station. Are there any ways to track where people are on station?
She shakes her head no. There are security systems in most of the resorts and in many of the government buildings and station stops for the loop, but we don't use any tracking systems.
Captain, do you have a technician that you have full confidence in their loyalty and discretion? Someone proficient with droids, whether or not they officially work for the station. Someone at least unaffiliated with the resort corporations.
You can see her thinking about that. And you know, because you have a lot of law, you have a high law skill, right?
Yep.
Most likely it's against the rules to let an outside person tamper with evidence. And she knows you're talking about the droid that the two of you found.
Yep.
So you think you can see the sort of
Wheel spinning?
Yeah, the wheel spinning, and you know that she's thinking about that.
Can I try to... I have bureaucracy and law enforcement.
Uh-huh.
I want to try to think of a way that I can make it in the rules.
Ooh, I like it.
For her to maybe bend the intent, but stay within
Right.
the letter of the law.
So roll 5 dice, because I see you have a 5 in both of those.
All right. 16.
You have access to that crime scene. And you know, you think that if you just, it is reasonable for you to tell her that you need a consultant who can assist you without telling her directly what that consultant will be doing.
Understood. So that's how I phrase it. I say, I have need to refer to a technical consultant, someone unaffiliated. Do you have someone you could recommend on a personal matter?
Yes, a technical consultant.
Yes.
I have a cousin. She is a droid operator.
Great. Tridian, time is of the essence.
Agreed.
I suggest we split up and take care of a few things each.
Understood.
I'm going to check in with this consultant. I also am going to follow up on one of the missing persons we haven't looked into yet, Dami, and maybe get a little bit more sense of some of the extracurricular activities in the station that could have involved Knack as well. In the meantime, the energy records.
I plan to go to lower station to speak to someone there who could review the station and its energy signatures.
Also the connection, the greenhouse.
I will look into the Doug's accommodations, his living quarters.
All right. Cool. Where, let's start with you, Dan. Where do you want to start?
I think the first thing he'll do is stop at, he probably gets an address to Bin Ray. Is that his name? Or Bin Rel? Bin Rel's occupation, and he's given a key to the apartment in order to get in. Okay, cool. Do you remember what a Doug is? They're the little guys, aren't they?
We were just talking about what's his name? The pilot of the pod racer guy.
Sebulba.
Yeah, like they weird like feet, hands, and stuff.
Yep.
They're little and they're weird. He's one of them.
Okay.
And when you get to his apartment in the Commons, it's awkwardly small. Probably gets a better rate. It's like a half level.
Yep.
And you let yourself in with a
security
pass card
yep.
that you were given. And you start just looking around. It's pretty well kept.
What he's looking for is anything that looks like personal records and or notes that might have correspondence with friends or people he knew on the station.
Okay.
So if there's like a data pad, or there's even looking into, like, I imagine there might be a computer on the wall that allows him to calm other people on the station, looking through a history of who he may have called. Like, it's not like crazy technical stuff. It's like looking up redial on a phone.
Give me an investigation check.
Sure.
As you search his apartment. We'll see how much you find. So the way I've been doing this, like behind the curtain while Dan's rolling, is instead of just being pass-fail, basically giving more information based on how high you get up that chart. Because otherwise the game would be pretty boring. It'd be like, oh, you fail? Fine. All right. I guess you lose.
15. 15.
15?
Yep.
Oh, I'm just kidding.
I'll use a character point.
It's a 16 pass fail.
I got a 16.
Well, a 16 puts you up in a category, actually, to difficult. Well-kept, tiny little apartment.
I was into the tiny home movement.
You're making your way around. You're looking through his comm logs, looking for any sort of journal or anything like that. And fuck it, we'll let you use your foresight. You you look at a cabinet, and you can kind of see through things with your foresight to some extent, and you just sense a space behind it.
A void.
For you, it's something that you could maybe, I mean, if you can figure out how to open it, you can look in. But if you were smaller, you could go in there. It'd be like a secret room, essentially. And you kind of poke around, and you find that one of the sort of cabinet doors in the kitchen, it doesn't open, but you get behind the whole like panel, and it's on a hinge, and you're able to open it up.
Okay.
And behind it, you find a small room that you're able to kind of crawl into, and you find a box, like a shoe box, essentially, full of credit sticks. There's a good amount of credits for someone who is a greenhouse laborer. You also find a list of amounts of credits. So it'll say 60 credits, and then next to it is a number, like
interesting
60 credits, and then it'll say 5 or 80 credits 6. It seems like it's an inventory of something that he's selling, and the price fluctuates a little, and he's tracking that fluctuation to make sure he's not getting ripped off. That's the impression you get from that.
Okay. And there's anything else in this little...
A list of, like, essentially a checklist of things he needs in order to leave here. It seems like he was trying to make enough credits to get off the station, to move to a real planet. You have a moment of like really feeling really bad about this. Like, here's this, like in your head, you put together this whole story of like, here's this Doug, works in the greenhouse, probably really enjoys like being close to nature, and wants to like move to a planet with trees and air and soil, and you can really sort of relate with the strife that this guy was going through. And it looks like he had been at this for a while. Whoever he's selling things to, he's been doing it for years.
Tridian closes the box with the credits in it and sets the list back down, and then kind of puts everything the way it was and closes the door to it. He looks again around the apartment. He's looking also for anything related to his work in the greenhouse, like maybe what he was growing, what plants he had access to, or if he had, is there anywhere in here that shows that he may have been fostering plants as well? And I think that's where his mind has gone for the rest of kind of investigating this particular room or area.
Okay. You find in a closet in the kitchen, a bunch of essentially Tupperware containers that have residue of soil in them.
Okay.
They're small containers with lids.
Haven't found anything that would connect him to the teacher though yet, right?
No.
Okay. Other than the credit amounts? Well, excuse me. I should say the only evidence I've found of something transactional is those credit amounts.
If he was selling, this is way more than that. If he were selling plants to that teacher,
she wouldn't have had that kind of money.
It would be like, no, well, I mean, it's not a ton of money.
Right.
But he's sold over the course of years, like hundreds of plants.
But it does seem to be smaller in scale, whatever he's selling.
Yeah.
Because it's not huge
and
amounts.
if it's plants, then it's probably, he can smuggle 2 or 3 out of the greenhouse. Like, he needs to do it slowly so he doesn't get noticed.
Sure. Okay. He kind of takes one more look around the apartment. He's kind of half crouched over, his head would brush the ceiling, and he thinks about the Doug and knows that because the money is still here, he's clearly either dead or being held captive. And he closes the door.
Okay. Kevin Solimar, where are you?
So I think Kevin, say at some point, the captain, gave us, like, we had some quarters or something we could stay in. So he checks back in there and he's going to change. He doesn't have like full disguises, but he does have some stuff he can throw on to look less Jedi-like, kind of like a generic spacer. He's on the scruffier side anyway, a little scruffy looking nerf herder. And he's has a lot of history in moving around somewhat less, grimier areas.
So you take off your white robe and you put on a green robe.
Yep. And some sleeveless gloves.
Nice.
I mean, fingerless gloves.
Yep.
And he's going to first go back to Kessie Vidar's apartment.
Right. The Twi'lek mechanic.
The Twi'lek.
Yep.
I'm going to say, whatever means of access we had, I got from the captain,
Okay.
code, lock, whatever.
Are you asking that technical advisor to meet you there?
No.
Okay.
I'm going there and I'm going to take the droid.
Okay.
Not the entire thing, the upper half.
All right.
So he's got like a big satchel or a little repulsor thing, something. And then not planned, but when he's there, thinking back to some of the stuff we talked about, he sort of gets a nudge to rely on the Force. And he's going to use Sense Force in this space.
Okay.
The most recent crime scene we have. Sense Force will tell the character the rough magnitude of the Force in an area or object, rich, moderate, or poor in the Force, the rough type and quantity of life forms, whether the area or object tends toward the dark or light side, blah, blah, blah. An area rich in negative or positive energies may indicate past events or the activities of past inhabitants. The Jedi may also receive vague premonitions about the area, such as, I sense something wrong, or I sense a great impending tragedy. Just sort of an intuition. He's going to try to use the Force. 13, 14.
14.
That does sense difficulty, moderate for an area, difficult for sensing details or specific objects within the area, modified by proximity. I'm going to do a character point because I'm at 14.
2 or better.
That's 5. It gets me up to a 19.
Okay. You concentrate. You breathe. Your eyes are closed. You kind of start walking around with a hand out, feeling the, vibrations of the Force. And it guides you. You put your hand against something and you open your eyes. Your hand is above that outlet in the wall.
It's a Force outlet. You plug into it and you charge up your Force.
I sense power. You sense
that the Force, you sense just a stronger, like, sort of resonance of the Force here.
Okay. All right.
Everything is the Force.
Everything is the Force. That's why he can see. Otherwise, what if like you use like a door threshold that wasn't made of the Force stuff? He would trip over it and fucking hurt himself.
Right?
It's got to be force.
hopeless.
If it was force reflective.
And then Cavan's going to go. The one specific thing he's doing is bringing this droid to the captain's cousin, this consultant we referred to. And then beyond that, sort of spending hours, and 2, 4, even 6 hours, he's going to go to the bar that the other missing Domi Temu worked at. He's going to go towards the area that he thinks that Trandoshan worked at. Both are around the loop. And sort of just in that kind of sphere, trying to get a pulse. And if there's any interaction opportunities he has, he put it out that he's, passing through and that he's sort of heard weird things and maybe seen or felt weird things and just try to.
Cool. So, try to kind of lure someone out almost. All right. When you say weird things, you mean like along the lines of their
superstitions.
Their superstition.
Yep.
Yeah. Their urban legends. Okay. So, you go to an address, in the loop where, this, cousin, or is that what she said? Cousin.
Yeah.
Lives. And you, ring the door, and this Duros child opens the door. Big headphones over her giant head. Looks up at you. Very, very light blue skin. Says, "Yeah,
Are you Kira?
Yeah.
I'm friends with your cousin."
You're the Jedi. Where's your lightsaber?"
He kind of sort of makes a show of it. He looks to his side up and down the hall, and then slowly pulls back his robe and winks and shows her the lightsaber hanging there. But he goes, "Shh.
Come on in. My mom's at work until 12 hour. So, what do you got?"
Well, we're here on quite an important task, but I need some expert help." He swings around the bag, whatever thing he has, and he kind of pulls the string and drops it in this top half of this droid. This droid was recovered from a sensitive area.
She immediately starts laying out all the pieces on the floor.
It seemed to have some potential corruption issues. It hadn't been activated for, I believe, around 50 days. It is important that we find out everything that this droid knew and observed, say in the last 2 standard weeks of its programming awareness.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, even if it's in standby mode, it's still collecting sensor data, which a lot of people don't realize.
I did not realize that.
Yeah.
I came to the right place.
Especially protocol droids. These things are basically just spies for the Republic. All right. Yeah. I mean, you didn't get a power source for it. That's your first problem. But I think I probably got one. She leaves the room.
Okay. Well, in that case, also what happened 1 week ago, 1 standard week, anything gathered on standby mode would be very valuable.
Does she have a big box of all these wires?
Oh yeah. Wait, USB X, USB Y. All right. I mean, yeah, I get you whatever's on there. I'll get you all of it. If there is corruption in the data storage, I'm going to, as soon as I get it booted up, transfer everything over to something more stable. But yeah, I mean, I'll see what I got.
I would appreciate it. It prefers to go by C465.
Okay.
The Jedi Order is in your debt.
She's just, all right. Cool. Yeah, she's just kind of looking at all the parts.
I'll come back before 12 hour?
It's a mess. Yeah, definitely before 12 hour. Got to get this thing out of here.
Understood.
All right.
Thank you, Kira. And then he goes on his little
all right.
information gathering.
I'm going to jump back to you on the information, but give me a roll. We'll
How about Streetwise?
Streetwise is good.
Fucking keep hitting thresholds. 15. Do I blow another character point? These are important.
Start rolling more 6s and 1s.
Yeah.
You're boring with
rolled
your rolls.
1 1 and 1 6. Fire it up.
Fire
There's my 6.
There we go.
21. 24.
There we go. That's good. All right, we'll come back to you. You're wandering around. You go to the Meltdown, like that bar.
Yep.
You go to the area where Knack worked in the Loop, which is close by. Okay, you're kind of in that area, stirring things up a little bit. Meanwhile, Tridian, where are you?
He's in the process of up becoming down and down becoming up.
Nice, I like it. So you get to this checkpoint. There are warnings everywhere, and you're greeted by a security guard, similar uniform to Captain Zagar, and he checks your ID. He scans you with a device to make sure that you're not, someone else in disguise. The security is pretty tight. You have the clearance. You were given the clearance, but he's very careful to make sure you are who you claim to be. And when he's done with all that, he says, "I'm going to have you step onto this platform, hold on to the railings," and he puts a harness around you. And he says, "This lift is going to bring you up to the lower decks."
I understand.
All right. He walks away, and you realize you're on this small little elevator lift. He
Are
pushes.
there a number of them?
Yeah,
like a number of security checkpoints. Okay.
But he pushes a few buttons, flips a few switches, and you start descending. This lift starts descending through this like tube, essentially, and you get this massive feeling of vertigo as you slowly start to feel your body get lighter until there's no gravity. And then after a moment, you feel the harness like it holding you like upside down. You're hanging from this harness instead of being just standing on the platform as up becomes down. The platform like gives you a warning and then starts to slowly rotate so that it's below your feet. And I don't know, you probably are not used to space and the feeling this would make me so sick. You want to make a check? Yeah. Go ahead. Let's see how sick you get. Make
I have a stamina.
Stamina. That's the one. That's strength skill, stamina.
Ooh,
a 6.
No, I got a 12, but a 1 on the wild die.
I like it. You feel a little nauseous, but you just can't shake that feeling of being upside down. You unsure, like your legs are very unsure, and as you step off of this, and you do that thing of like walking off of like an escalator or something.
Yep.
And you take a few steps, and there's a security guard there, and he kind of steps forward. He's probably seen this before. Like he's ready to grab you if he needs to, but you're.
Tridian holds out his hand, like I'm okay, but he is cautious as he proceeds.
Okay. The security guard follows you. He was waiting for you. And you're going, where are you
I'm
going?
heading to the utilities.
Okay. The power.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. This guard brings you there. And, once you get there and, you're in, essentially like a what's the word I'm looking for? Where they make electricity.
Like a power
like
station.
A power station. Yeah. You're in a power station.
I imagine there are offices and workshops,
but the hum of electric generators, it's quite loud. There's this weird sort of feeling in the air. Everything sort of has a glow to it, the way that you see it. And this utility worker, this human man, in his probably late 50s, kind of gray hair and a beard, wearing like a hard hat and utility uniform. He meets you and he says, "I was told you're coming."
Excellent. My name is Tridian Adulis, and I'm here on behalf of Captain Zygar. I was wondering if you could help me search the station for some irregular energy signatures. Is this the place?
Is this something that you think is going on at the moment, or are we looking at
Historically.
backlogs? All right. Yeah, come with me.
He kind of falls in step
Okay.
with him. And Tridian is kind of looking at these surroundings and noticing that there is like a palpable energy difference.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks at, is everyone wearing, or is anyone wearing any sort of safety equipment for radiation or anything like that?
You notice that they all have
Looking for OSHA violations.
They all have some sort, like they all have a detector,
Okay.
but
Like a rad detector
but
almost?
they're not wearing like gear.
Okay.
Yeah. He brings you to this room, like think old school, like power plant
Yep.
with this enormous map of the entire station. This the disc from the top down, and on it are all of these lights indicating different like sections of the station. And he says, "What are we looking at? What section?"
Tridian opens up his data pad and brings up the map with just the dots, not what they are, but obviously the dots that he located where the missing people were or where the murders were.
He looks at that and he says, "All right, right near the landing bay, between those two." He's like, "Yeah, all right, sure. That'd be these sections." He hits a few switches and selects a few different sections. It's all very analog, as Star Wars should be.
Yep. And he, Tridian says the time frame specifically is in the last 66 days.
He starts turning some dials. He says, "All right, well, we can go through and look at spikes." And he starts going through, and you see this like gauge of like power usage. As he like dials it back, you know he's dialing like back like the time. And you see a few spikes, but he ignores them and like kind of just keeps going.
Tridian is looking at the gauge and he says, "What would an anomaly look like? A spike, as it were, one worth your notice."
Well, this one here, that's a spike, but he dials it back. He says, "That's a spike, but that's a lightning strike. So we know exactly what that is, and you can tell by the readout how much it was."
What is the actual energy signature? How much?
Oh, they always vary, but enough to destroy a small moon.
I see. Any closer to the date?
He keeps going. He says, "Looks like there was a there's a pretty big anomaly here. There's a big spike."
How does it compare to a lightning strike?
It's a lot less, but it's still, way more. It's just, this is, to be honest, if it were, this is really odd, actually. Well, hold on. He looks at a few other things. He says, "This is just below the threshold for us to get an alarm."
Interesting.
I mean, like, just below it.
Like perhaps someone knew what the draw requirement was.
He nods. Can you check your other ones? What were your dates?
This sector here, he points the dot on his map, 57 days ago.
He goes through all of them.
Yep.
And if you are you going to have more kind of questions for him?
No, those are,
Okay.
right now, those are the
right.
signatures.
So we'll fade out as
Yep.
he's going through, but
Perfect.
It's the same.
Are they drawing?
It's power draw. Yeah.
So it's pulling power from the
Yep.
station.
Yep.
Yeah, we fade out to Tridian just listening to him kind of list the data for that draw and its requirements.
Okay. Josh. Are we at the meltdown?
Yeah.
All right.
A side note, the guy that they bump into at the meltdown who like, rah, he's in Rogue One. He and that dude.
Yes. Yeah.
It's all connected.
Yeah, they bump into them. It's very
I
funny.
did bump into him.
Yeah.
Of course. That's funny. Before you even walk into the meltdown, on the front door of the establishment, you see a poster. It says "Missing Domi Tamu." There's a picture of her, very young girl, happy little smile on her face. The meltdown looks like your typical like chrome diner, like silver walls, like neon lights. And you make your way in, and some other older version of the Cantina band song, because 30 years earlier, they were good. They were better, before they went mainstream. But that's playing. You've already at this point kind of been walking around the area, checking things out. You make your way in, and there's maybe 5 or 6 patrons here, and there's an older woman behind the bar. But there's like there's the vibe is off. Like they're
Sketchy?
They're just not. The vibe is like their friend is missing.
Okay.
And probably dead.
All right. He goes up, takes a seat at the bar, not right next to somebody, but like in proximity of a couple other patrons, orders a drink.
You sit like 2 seats down from this large hairy creature that has its head down on the bar, like, passed out. And the bartender is a older human woman. She walks over and she puts a coaster down, this like silver disc, and says, "What can I get you?"
I'm trying to think of fucking Star Wars drinks. I almost said Romulan ale. Yeah. Krillian lager?
Red?
Please. Thank you.
Do you want the blood stripe?
No, that's all right.
Yeah, that's for tourists.
I'm passing through, but I wouldn't call myself a tourist. I don't have enough coin to be a tourist around here.
She puts this long, very long, tall, thin glass and fills it up. We don't get many sightseers.
Well, more of a exploratory trip.
You're a trader?
Freelance consultant. Managed to pick a ride close to here, and some interesting tales about this place.
Yeah. How'd you like the ride in? She goes to like wiping down the bar. She's still talking to you, but kind of like down the bar a little further.
It was pretty hairy. I've never done the Kessel Run myself, but from the stories I've heard, that was just as nail-biting as the real thing.
Mm. Yeah, only thing scarier than the ride is the pilots.
By his expression, I would have thought he was full droid. I think there's still some human in there. Not much.
Mm.
He's going to kind of slow roll it. He kind of doesn't really talk much,
Okay.
General kind of chit chat. Cool. And like maybe after his second drink, he says, I don't mean to pry. It's a sensitive subject. I saw the poster on the front. I had just come from a shop that had a missing poster for someone else. Is this a common thing here?
She says, "Who else is missing? What was the poster for?"
I don't remember the name. A shop owner, something with droids.
Sika?
Maybe, yeah.
Someone gives up bantha fodder enough to put up a poster for that scumbag?
Wasn't as nice as that. More a sketch.
Probably someone owes him money, or he owes someone money and they want to find him.
It seems like the kind of thing that'd be bad for this is a big tourism place, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, Sika's got his tiny little claws in a lot of different pies. I don't know if it's connected. I mean, she stops and you can see that she just made some sort of connection. You can tell, like in her head, like her jaw almost drops and she goes back to wiping the tables.
He the kind of guy you'd maybe ask for if you're looking for something not on the regular shelves?
Yeah, actually.
What about that one out front? You guys have some connection to her?
She worked here.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I mean, she was a good kid. She's been working for me for 4 years. I mean, she was a kid when she started working for me. Come a long way.
Young, maybe she just wanted to get off the station.
Not that easy to get off the station. Not that easy at all.
I guess not surprising. The flight in wasn't cheap.
But yeah, I mean, she was trying to get off the station.
Oh, yeah? Well, he lifts his drink. He's like, here's the hope that she didn't.
The Wookiee, with its head down, picks its head up and to the bartender.
Everybody understands Wookiee.
And she says, yeah, I know. I know. I don't know. I don't know. And he goes,
I don't speak Wookiee.
You need that horsepower,
you
baby.
picked wrong.
Can I do a knowledge roll to see if I pick up any on languages to see if I
Sure.
pick up any
Random words.
Yeah.
Like it's like I don't speak Spanish, but
No.
I know how to get some cheese.
6 with a 1 on the wild.
Oh, okay.
You think you pick up
You're like
Epstein.
you're a little too focused on trying to figure out what he's saying.
Too old.
And you know that a lot of times Wookiee like body language has a lot to do with what they're saying. So you kind of stare a little bit too much, and he stops talking and turns towards you and
Sorry, friend.
he's just having a drink. Come on, Bach, leave him alone. He's not spying on you.
I didn't mean to be rude. He puts down a few credits. He says, a drink for Buck.
Bach nods, and she pours him a very large drink.
Put some more credits up. Well, try to like, don't want to overplay my hand.
Did you take gambling?
No.
But everyone at the bar, the three of you, all sort of get a bit quiet, kind of in your own thoughts. Bach staring into his drink, drinking it very quickly, like a pitcher of beer, essentially. And the bartender just mindlessly wiping tables that don't need to be wiped.
Can I say something that might sound a little crazy? When we were flying in, a couple of those energy bursts, if I didn't know better, I would almost think they were aimed, deliberate. I'm sure it's just random. Thankfully, the pilot's senses and reflexes were good enough, but I've never seen anything like that. And I've seen the Andalusian lights.
It's just, there's a legend. She comes over, stops what she was doing. There's stories that the locals tell. They call it the specter. They say that there's a ghost that lives in the storm. And that every once in a while, when a strong enough burst hits the station, it travels down the pylons into our systems.
Kevin kind of shows some like trepidation, like he's kind of like awed or feared, trying to coax a little bit more out of it, like he's really buying into the story. Something intelligent? Alive?
Bach says something, and you don't know any Wookiee, but you this is like the only Wookiee word you know. And he says the Force.
Force? Huh. Well, maybe the next station I'm in, maybe I can tell a story about having seen the Force. He kind of laughs nervously.
She says, hey, friend, that girl that's missing, she was, selling stuff for Umsika. I don't know what happened to them, but I'd stay away from there if I were you. Could be dangerous. We gotta watch each other's backs.
I appreciate it. I sometimes work in the trades myself, but I'm not looking to get in over my head. just make a little extra coin, try to get by. Galaxy's a tough place. Hey, I appreciate it. He puts some extra credits down.
Sure. Give me an investigation check.
This could be an interesting one for you. That's a 23 with a 1 on the wild.
Okay. Do you have alien species?
I do. Alien races, yeah.
What's your skill?
4D.
4D. Okay. As you're leaving, you look at that poster one last time, and it has a bunch, like a description of the girl who's missing, and something clicks. She was very small, sprightly little girl. And do you know what a Toydarian is? Umsika. Toydarians are the racist Italian bug guy. The slave trader. The guy that owns Anakin. Yeah.
Your Jedi mind powers won't work.
Yep.
He's got the little wings, right?
Yep. So the 3 that are missing are a very small girl, a Toydarian, and a Doug. All
very small, good at getting into small places.
Or good at easy to shove
hide
in a bag.
Okay. Okay. All right. I think he, lingers a little bit, finishes his drink, and then makes his way out.
All right. I'm going to jump right back to you in just a second. But Dan?
The doors kind of open as he's leaving this gentleman and the kind of station where he was monitoring or going through the monitoring of the station. And he stops and turns around and he says, "This is my comm frequency." And he gives him the information. If you would be able to run an additional scan up until this time as to any of those signatures that are up to that threshold yet not over it. If you could do a broader search across the station and let me know if they exist and what those locations are, I would be very much indebted to you.
I can do that. Yeah. And that's going to take a while, but I can do that.
I understand.
All right.
He says, "Thank you, and may the Force be with you."
Now you're openly being a Jedi. Yeah. He says, "Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for bringing this to my attention."
He steps through the doorway, and the doors close behind him.
Awesome. Cavan, you step out onto the street, and there is a heavily armored figure standing about 5 meters away from the door. Combat armor, large blaster rifle, not up, but this kind of composite mix of different armors, not like not a uniform.
No kind of identifying.
No identifying marks. Yeah. Just like a cross like slit for like the visor,
Have I seen other people?
Not a Mandalorian.
Have I seen other people openly armed around the station?
Not many.
Okay.
Not many. But they're just standing there, clearly waiting for you to come out. And as you come out, they keep the blaster down, but they take a few steps towards you.
Good evening. By station time?
Gangu wants to see you.
Gangu? An associate?
You know that Gangu, because you speak the language, is a Hutt name.
Ruh-roh. How'd one of those slither on board?
Very well. I suppose this is time sensitive?
He motions his head towards a repulsor vehicle.
Okay. As Cavan goes to get in the repulsor vehicle, is there anyone inside as he gets in the...
There's a Twi'lek inside, like the driver, and you can see that he has like holstered on the dashboard like a blaster pistol.
Okay.
Very, like, he's got like face tattoos and Liku tattoos,
Okay.
like he's a shady looking motherfucker.
Red
skinned.
As I get in and like opening the door, settling in, I try to shift my lightsaber to somewhere more
Discreet.
and less like an extremely thorough pat down. I put it right under my junk.
Uta guta, Jedi. They start driving.
He kind of laughs, says, "So where are we going to find Gangu?"
The armored figure who is sitting next to you in the back says, Section 6, the exposure.
Do I know what section Knack was in?
6.
Section 6. Heard there was a terrible incident in your section the last month.
The Twi'lek says, a good friend of ours was killed.
Sorry to hear that. I don't know if you were listening in the bar, but if my accent slipped, it's because I was trying to do...
Trying to blend
trying
in.
to be discreet. He's going to kind of sit back and just observe. He is going to try to pick up some surface thoughts.
Okay.
Just basically trying to get a rough sense of, am I about to get whacked, or is this...
Can you do danger sense?
Oh, I do have danger sense.
Ooh, nice.
I will activate danger sense. That's one that you can turn on and keep on.
I like it.
So I will roll that up and see how we go here. Moderate. Oh, crushed. 24.
Okay.
So, basically, I detect any attacks the round before they're made.
Okay.
So I just kind of keep that active, kind of
Nice.
going.
It's a pretty long ride. The exposure is pretty far away. The middle sort of top of the station. They're quiet the whole way. You don't get a general sense of them being like angry, or at least not at you. You've dealt with this kind of person a lot in your previous life, and you know they're projecting a persona. They're projecting a tough, don't fuck with me sort of persona. But if they had a reason to want you dead, they don't seem like they would have had any problem attacking you on the street.
Yep. Very well. Gentlemen, can I ask you, just so I start things off on the right foot, does Gangu have a preferred title?
This is great. The Twi'lek turns back and smiles, and as he smiles, you see most of his teeth are like metal. And he says, Gangu, the astronomical. One thing you know about Hutt culture, the fact that he's not called the Hutt means he's probably like sort of an exile. He's not.
Okay.
I think Hutt is like a family or a crime syndicate.
Yep.
So he's on the outside. you
Okay.
know.
He's not part of the
Not part
organization.
of the syndicate. Yeah.
All right.
Which isn't crazy. They can't all be.
Yep.
Meanwhile, you just do the flippy flip again.
Yep.
Tridian.
Yep.
And when you get up there, you stagger off of the lift, and there is there's a young Rhodian waiting. And he's just kind of standing next to the security guard. He said something to him, but he wasn't allowed to go any further.
Tridian kind of sits down at a bench that they probably have there for people who aren't feeling vertigo sickness or something. And Tridian sits down once he makes it past the security clearance.
Okay. The Rhodian comes over and he says, Tridian Adulis,
Yes.
I have a message for you. And he hands you a piece of paper, which is fucking wild.
Yep. Probably since leaving my home world, I haven't seen any.
Mm-hmm. It's extremely rare and valuable.
And actually, maybe he saw some in the Jedi Academy.
Yeah, for sure. But it's just a small piece of paper, and he hands it to you, and he leaves.
He takes the piece of paper in his hands and opens it.
It says, I found something. Come talk to me as soon as possible. Thames 0.
I got a bad feeling about this. He stands and starts making his way to Ruloth.
Okay. Josh, the repulsor lift vehicle stops at some turbo lifts that bring you up and into this labyrinth of utility corridors. It's not nice. It's such a change from where you were before.
Yep.
There's like exposed pipes and conduits, and people pass you and they kind of have to like squeeze to the side, you know, and you make your way through, kind of maybe focusing your thoughts to try to remember the path, because it's a maze, and a door opens into this huge cargo room, and you can see on one wall it says Cargo Bay 6, but all around the room there are makeshift buildings and shelters that have been built. It's
Almost like a shanty town?
It's a shanty town. Okay. Yeah, exactly. And you're escorted by these two guys. Everyone in here gives them so much space. You know, they're like the Imperial stormtroopers of this place. Everyone seems to know who they are. And you're brought into what was probably the control room for this cargo bay. There are giant doors that would open to allow ships to come in. So this control room, which is like a tower basically that's been gutted, you're brought in, and you're brought to the throne room of Gangu the Astronomical. You come into this large open room with, you know, much like Jabba's palace, like just creatures of different races everywhere. And there's music playing, and they're just like, they're bartering, they're gambling. And at the center of it is this circular dais, and literally pouring off the edges of it is the fattest hut you have ever seen.
Like, I've seen some fat huts.
He looks immobile.
Okay.
Yeah, he's obese.
That's like a sign of like you know, the fatter you are, the better you're doing.
Maybe, but also like, you know, you're like you after a moment you go, oh,
he hasn't
the
left.
Platform he's on is a repulsor platform. He doesn't walk.
And these guys already referred to me as a Jedi, right?
Yeah.
Okay. He walks in, strides right up in front of the dais, and he gives like a half bow.
They flank you. The Twi'lek and the armored guy bring you in, both on either side.
He says in Huttese, Gangu the Astronomical, you honor me in the Jedi Order with your summons.
The room goes silent. Everything in here kind of looks over at you, and Gangu opens his eyes, which were closed. And you see that one of them is cybernetic. This giant whirling cybernetic eye kind of turns towards you. And he goes, Jedi. I've not seen one of them in hundreds of years.
He just kind of gives another little half bow. Perhaps I can be of assistance to you.
I know why you have come here.
Do you want to know more of the killings and disappearances?
He says. He says to the Twi'lek. He says, "What does he know? Does he know who did it? Will he find them?" And the Twi'lek shrugs and says, "They get closer, but they need more. They need our help." And Gangu says, "I want revenge. One of my best soldiers was killed. One does not kill a Sixer."
Neck.
Mm-hmm. You hear a chorus of like people calling out "knack" and like taking drinks around the room.
I'm sure he was a worthy adversary. Whoever went for him must be powerful indeed.
And they did not get away unscathed.
Indeed.
Indeed. I have something that could help you find them.
And what is it?
What do you offer in exchange?
Justice.
Can you promise justice? Even if the one who did it is above the laws.
To the Jedi Order, none are above the laws. He says that without actually really believing that himself.
I like that. Give me a bluff check. Thanks for, admitting your...
Oh. 3 6s on everything but the wild die, but it's a 20. 22.
You need that against the
22?
22.
Yeah. Make that a pose roll. Okay. I give you this. In exchange, you share any findings.
Does when he says this, does he offer something?
No.
Okay. He says, very well.
Give it to him. Cut. Dan.
Tridian is working his way through the station. He's stopping at different points to kind of get his bearings. And he uses the loop at one point in order to get to the resort.
Okay.
And while he's on the loop, he kind of takes a moment to resettle his condition and kind of turn inward on his body and kind of reorient that mixed feeling that he had from going back and forth between the different gravities. And he's thinking about what Zaro could have found that he wants to share, and more specifically, what purpose Zaro has.
You get through all the security checkpoints. You go past all the lavish gardens, and you are brought to an attendant who brings you to a docking bay. They put you in a small shuttle with a pilot, not like the pilot that you had, like someone who works for the resort.
Mm-hmm.
And you take off and leave the station.
His knuckles go white again.
You don't go far. You don't go into the storm. You go just a little ways away from the station to essentially a super yacht that's parked there. And you dock with it. They open a hatch. You climb up into this ship and you're brought out to the deck, which is, imagine a yacht, like the deck of a yacht, like overlooking the water, except it looks like you're outside. There's a force field. So you're standing in space, essentially.
Yep.
This is like a billion credit ship.
Yeah, sure.
And he's sitting there in like a deck chair with a drink. And he's just kind of sitting on the edge of the chair, tapping his foot, staring into the void. And you come in and he goes, "Oh, you're here. Hi."
I am here. Why am I here?
So that no one can listen to us.
He is, he's addressing Zaro when he asks the question, then he looks at the station.
These are the unedited versions of those hollow files. He gives you a data chip.
He takes it and plugs it. He plugs it into his data pad.
All right. He says, "I'll make sure that thing doesn't connect to the station when you return. But it's not just that. They were edited. I'm not sure by who, but by someone that very easily got through all of my security, all of the security of Captain Cigar."
And you were able to trace a digital signature.
Someone is using the station against us.
To what end?
I don't know. But someone has control of the cortex.
Oh, shit.
That is a significant resource.
You can't trust anything on there. You can't trust the droids. You can't trust the security systems. If there's something hooked up to those networks and it can hear you, then that means whoever's on the other end knows exactly what you're doing. I don't know how much control they have, but it's enough for me to want to take a little vacation.
You would abandon all those people?
Doing my best. Doing my best by getting you on the case.
He nods his head slowly.
Captain Zaguerre is a really good investigator, a really good law enforcement person. She's a little too strict with the rules sometimes, but she means well. But she's also a bit of a superstitious bumpkin. I don't know if she's told you her crackpot theories yet, but I don't know. Maybe talk to her.
Have you seen the bodies yourself?
He shakes his head.
Sort of a half smile comes across his face, and he says, "What we cannot explain is often filled with superstition or myth. It is a way of explaining ourselves to ourselves."
He nods.
What I have seen done to these bodies, as of right now, it is beyond anything I can explain. So it exists in the realm.
He puts a hand on your shoulder and he goes, now you're getting it. What I was trying to explain to you. Technology, the Force, medical science.
That isn't to say, he kind of starts again as he was interrupted, that it can't be explained. There will be data. There will be information. There will be a trail. There will be equipment. I have already seen power signatures that will hopefully lead a path to where all of this is going. It will be harder to operate aboard Takari Station if the station is in fact against us. But that suggests it has an agenda.
No, there's someone behind it.
Why, if I may be so blunt, would it kill its inhabitants and not kill you? It would seem in many ways the resorts, he kind of points them out on the ring, have glommed on and leech off of the plentiful that is here and take it all for themselves. It is not shared amongst those who work and toil and help operate this system. I have heard that they live in radiation threat, in squalor, when there is so much abundance. Why then is it the ire of this thing not directed at you, but at them?
There you go again, calling it a thing. I mean, what's the motivation? Exactly. What's the motivation to kill this group of people? They're seemingly random. They don't seem connected in any way. Are they just opportunity? And if so, why? What's the gain?
They could be witnesses.
I haven't changed my mind about what I said. We're still going to help you in any way we can. But be careful who you trust, and be careful where you say things. You don't know who could be listening.
I understand and I appreciate the warning. I should return to my master. I must warn him that he is in danger.
Kevin.
Good segue.
Something, a small box is brought forth and brought to you. And as like the worst timing ever, you know, when you get a phone call at the worst time possible time, your comm starts beeping, starts going off. And it's that Duros kid calming you.
I look at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Is it close to 12 hour?
Yeah, you got a couple hours still.
Okay. I kind of smile at the hut, say, important call. Would you indulge?
Give me a roll, like bureaucracy, I guess.
To tactfully.
Don't interrupt the hut.
We're on the rocks now. Still no fucking 6s in the wild that I ever, but lots of other ones. Another 24.
I should have done diplomacy, but it's okay. I don't know if the diplomacy is a thing, but that's fine. We'll stick with what we got. 24.
Yeah.
He looks annoyed, but he doesn't do anything.
It might help us get to where we both want to get. He
tries to lift his arm, but he's so huge that he can hardly lift it.
He kind of turns. He answers the comm, and he says, I'm a bit tied up, but I will be coming to you.
Like actually tied up? Can you use the force to get out?
In a meeting.
Oh, okay. Well, I got a lot of sensor data off of.
Why don't you wait till I can link up with you?
Okay.
Soon.
Okay. Sure. This thing is going on about ghosts.
Very soon. Keep the door locked.
All right, sounds good. They open the box, and as he's opening it, Gangu says, "Whoever killed Nak left this behind." And you see a cybernetic hand that has been cut off. Or torn off, actually.
Okay. Does it look like a normal humanoid size?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you. This might be quite helpful. Can I ask you something, Master Gangu? Was Nak planning any travel off station?
He looks at a couple of his advisors, and you can tell there's a sort of silent conversation going on, and they like kind of give him the go ahead, and he says, "Yes, we were going to begin smuggling things off station and on."
I will tell you when I know more, but I would advise you to suspend any travel plans.
He says something. He turns to the advisor, and one of the says, "Tell him the rest." And the advisor says, "Nak was in negotiations with a Toydarian to acquire a ship that we could use to move goods in and out of the system."
Umsika. Is anyone else involved in those negotiations?
Nak was the point of contact with Umsika. He was trusted with large sums of credits that were to be used to obtain a ship.
I understand. You have been gracious as a host, as I would expect. A creature of your reputation. He gives another half bow and kind of tries to like feel out, can I leave? kind of.
He says, "I like you Jedi more than those I've met in the past. I'm glad to see that your order is becoming more sensible." You know, Hutts live a very long time.
Yep. Yep. I take that as a compliment.
You leave.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we will, we'll wrap for now.
Gang, this is a foot.
Yeah, I think the cutscene is probably Tridian standing on that observation deck looking at the station now, looking at the whole thing for him.
Thank you guys for listening to Star Wars Dreamscapes. I'd just like to give a quick shout out to a Wilhelm Scream for our intro music, as always, and Galactic Empire for the Star Wars themes you heard. And a special shout out to Adrian von Ziegler and the song Pluto that you hear at the beginning of each episode. And if you want a little bit more information, there's details in the show notes, and follow us on social media. I promise, unlike my last arc, you're going to get lots of things to help you solve this mystery. Maybe some of you can solve this mystery before Dan and Josh. It probably wouldn't be that hard. So take a look on there and let me know what you think. You can also check out our Patreon. If you're listening to this after Halloween, then that means it's live. Thanks again. See you next Tuesday.
That's nasty.